All right, what's the deal? Everyone is asking me about Bitcoin. What's going to happen? So I'm going to share my take on it, and this is going to be a really important video. You guys are going to love it. I'm Casey Stubbs, and before we get started, who am I that you should listen to me? Well, I am the guy who predicted that Bitcoin was going to be where it's at right now on December 20th of last year. Check this clip where I was featured on the trading battle. Casey Stubbs, I'm the host of the How to Trade It podcast, and my prediction for Bitcoin is a huge drop in 2022 all the way down to 18,000. And so first I want to notice is that there's a double top right here, 1, 2. We also have divergence here on the weekly, and so we have a trend line developing right here. Okay, and so when this trend line breaks, I think we're going to drop down to the lows at 28,000. Then we'll have an M pattern, and then once we get to that M pattern, we're going to break down to probably about the 18,000, which is where this 200 period moving average is. So be ready, but trade smart, and thank you. Have a great 2022. All right, now that you know that I know a little something about markets, let's go ahead and do some checkup on Bitcoin and figure out what's going to happen. So the very first thing I want you to know is we're going to go back and take a blast from the past. It's really cool to be able to look and see what happened before us to figure out what happened in the past. So, or what's going to happen in the future. We don't know. I don't know. I look at the charts. The charts tell me. The charts know all. All right, so we've started out, Bitcoin opened up. You can see that it opened up at 5 cents. Right, so it went from 5 cents up to 31.91, right? And that was a pretty quick rise. Boom. Well, it didn't last long, unfortunately. And that's how markets work, and it's how crypto works. But so what you want to know here is this decline from this went down from here, went down about 93%. I might be a little bit more than 93. Yeah, actually, let's pause that. So you can see that it went down from about 32 all the way down here, which if we zoom that up, that's 95% drop. That's pretty massive. All the way down to $2. So a lot of people made a lot of money, and then a lot of people lost a lot of money. And that's, guess what? That's how the market works, right? So that's the 2011 bull and bear market. Huge move up and a huge move to the downside. Now I'm going to go through and show you the upside potential as well. So you want to watch this whole video. All right, so then the next year we went and we had a pretty nice move as well. And this move went and all the way up now from $2.13 up to $2.66. And so then on the retrace, when it went back down, the bear market, this was not much of a bear market. So you might not even actually consider this a bear market, but it was an 82% retracement. I mean, it was only a 1 month pullback. So I'm including it here as a bear market because it was 82%. So the first one was 95%. The next one was 82%. All right, well, let's keep rocking and rolling and see where we went. That was in 2013. And then this is still in 2013. 2 bull markets in 1 year. And so this one went from about $50 all the way up here to 1,242. And so this retracement here was 90%, a 90% drop. So far we've got a 95% drop, an 82% drop, and now we have a 90% drop. Okay, and this is in 2015. So again, we keep going. Bitcoin makes a recovery. All right, and so what do we have now? What do we have? We got a really extended bull market from 2015 all the way up to 2018. Really huge move. It just kept going and going and going.
and to the moon, as they like to say. This time it went up to 19,804, right? Okay, big move. Well, this time the retrace went down, and it might be hard to see because that line, let's see if I can get rid of that. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. It went down to 85% retracement. So another massive retrace, and then finally it started to come back up. And then this is the most recent move that we have to the upside. Okay, and then this time it went all the way up to 69,000 or 68,997, almost 69,000. Okay, and so now we're on the way down, right? And so what do we see on the way down? Everybody's saying, well, when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? And we have some key levels, like right here is the high of 2018, I mean, or actually 2017. The 2017 high, that's a big level, but what we'll notice is this is the weakest retracement we've ever had. Okay, so personally, I would not be buying this, right? I would not be buying this because it could go down to 85 and it could go down to 93, right? That was, and it could go down to 95. 95 was the lowest retracement we ever had. And if I adjust the numbers here, I could adjust the numbers here real quick and change this to a 95 and see where we would go. So if we went all the way to 95, what we had it could go down to 6,000, right? So why would you be buying at 19 when it could go to 6,000? And so that is really what I've been looking at and how far it could potentially go. So be looking at the 85, be looking at the 95, but don't just get in. I'm going to show you next how to find the perfect places to get in. We're going to look at some additional charts here in a minute. But before we did that, I wanted to take a look at some of the bull runs, right? And this will show you the bull runs, okay? So we're going to use this quite a bit, but for now, take a look at the bull markets. Okay, so it's pretty amazing that we had 63,000, 12,000, 2,000, 11,000, 2,108%. So these are the potential growth opportunities. Okay, so there's a lot of potential growth opportunities here. Right, the first one was the best. We haven't even come close to that. Could we get that again? I don't know. We're going to do some calculations here in a minute. But this is where we've gone on the upside, and look at the downside, 95, 82, 90, 85, and this is the weakest retracement that we've actually had. Okay, so even if we do another weaker one, which would be the 85, we still have a long ways to go. Let's go back to the chart. That 85 is all the way at 13, right? So we still have some ways to go. Okay? The one question I get is, well, where can we go from here? Well, I don't know. You know, I always look at the charts. Like, I wouldn't buy this because I call this catching a falling knife. A lot of people would say that. And why put your money in here? Let's say you have 10,000 US dollars to invest. Why put it in here rather than wait and put it in down here or down here? Because you'll get more bang for your buck, better ROI, right? So yeah, you could say, I really believe in Bitcoin. That's great. I'm really glad. I believe in it too, but I'm not going to buy it until I get some signals, and I'm going to go over that in a minute. But you know, you'll get more power if you wait, if you hold, if you're patient. Patience is what wins the game. Now, so we're going down here, and if we got in, now these are some potential price targets based off of nothing other than what has happened in the past. We've seen Bitcoin go 63,000%. We've seen it go 2,000%. We've seen it go 10,000, 11,000%. So if we have the best possible outcome and we get another 10%, 10,000% growth, you can see 10,000% growth could see Bitcoin at 1.9 million if it returns and stops at the 19,000 mark. if Bitcoin stops at 6,700 and does a 10,000% return, then we could see Bitcoin at 676,000. And so these are estimates based off of what has happened before. So if it's happened before, it could happen again. Is a prediction? No, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. But this is what I'm thinking just because it's what's happened in the past. And it helps us get an eye for maybe what kind of targets we'd be looking at. So the lower that it goes, the lower our possible targets can be, which is another reason why we would want to wait to load up until we're absolutely certain that we're at the bottom, because then you could put more money in rather than cost average down. You're going to not have as much money to invest at the critical time, and timing is really important here. But use this as a guide to kind of help you see what is possible. And of course, anything can happen. But now I'm going to show you, let me show you, I'm going to switch to chart here a little bit and give you guys, so now we're back at 2011. I want to give you guys some practical ways to make sure that you're not buying on the big drop, you're not buying on the falling knife, but you're buying when it makes sense to do so. So the first thing you need to know is that these are all weekly charts, and I recommend trading with weekly charts. You don't have to speed things up. You're not going to miss anything. There's no hurry to do this, but just a couple things to look at that you can use. Number one is I use a 10 moving average. As long as the price is below the 10 EMA exponential, I'm never going to buy this, ever. I'm never going to buy Bitcoin when it's below the 10 EMA, and that's just the way that it is, right? So I look for price to go below and above the 10 EMA. So I've been shorting Bitcoin for a long time, and every time we get a pullback, I just take a nice little short trade, okay? And it works, right? And so once we get above here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to buy Bitcoin, and then when it pulls back, I'm going to buy, and I'm just going to keep buying on the pullbacks when it moves up. Just another indicator you could try out too, which is this an RSI, and it's called a double RSI, and I have it right here on TradingView. It's a double relative strength index, okay, and it's by Constantino Z. You can use that. It gives you two RSIs, and I use the 4 and the 14. And when the fast RSI, which is the 4, crosses above, that's an opportunity to look for a buy. So it gives you a little bit earlier than crossing, but I like to do both. I like to see the 4 cross and this one cross as well. And, you know, I'm a price action trader, so I like to see bullish momentum and levels get broken. But so what you want to do, let's just look. This was the 2011 one. We're going to go back. So you want to wait. See here, it's bounced. And even on that bounce, you didn't have to buy there because then it went back and retested, consolidated. It had a little bit of a bullish market. And then finally, we broke up. And then even then, you came back down. You could have got in. You have plenty of time. So that's why fear of missing out is kind of silly, especially if you're looking, you know, it's like, I got to get down now. These prices are too good to miss. Well, you know what? They might get a lot better. Just wait and let this thing play out, right? Let it play out. So in the next one, we're going to see where we can get in, okay? Let's go to the next move. It was really monstrous, and hopefully we'll be seeing those monster moves again. But the same thing. We went down. This one was not a great one to do because I don't even know if this was ever a bear market because it barely went below, right? So I counted this as a bear just because it was 82%, but it really didn't even go below. It came and got right back, right? If it would have been more of a bear market, it would have come, bounced, and then instead of keep moving, it would have kept on going down. So this one, however, there were still great opportunities to get back in, you know, because you have that fast RSI crossing above it here, and here you crossed above the 10 EMA. So again, just watch these opportunities, right? Watch these opportunities. You're not in a hurry. Even here, when you had this big drop, you didn't have to get in right here. You could have waited another, this is like April, another 3 months. You had some time to get back in. Well, anyways, you got the price moving above, the fast RSI moving above, and price action moving, and you got your next bull market. Okay, there we go. So this one is in 2014, and price went up here. And so this bear market was a kind of a slower one. It kept on dragging on down. And then it hit, see again, you got time. This hit the low on January of 2015. And here it was again 8 months later, still in that same area. So I don't know, maybe the bounce is going to happen instantaneous this time, but I doubt it. I doubt it because it's going to, right now the market's bearish and it's falling and people are really scared, and that might continue for some time, but then it takes a while to rebuild, right? And we'll see that here again in the last bear market as well. But again, the same kind of thing. You've got time to get in. You got your entry. You could have got in here as it crossed above the fast RSI, and you would have just had to been patient. You would have could have got in here. You got plenty of time. Here's another opportunity, but again, it's crossing above. A nice big move. You got the fast RSI crossing. So those are two really good tools to help you get into these markets and not be worried about it. And use that weekly chart. Okay. So here we go. This is the last big bull market before our current one. This one went up to 2019. And again, we kept dropping. We went down, and this one went 85%. And so we had our opportunity. It was right here. We got the fast RSI crossing. We're crossing above the 10 EMA. There's an entry, right? So you got plenty of time. And this one came up, and you see that it made a nice move. And this is the last one. Okay, so I'm just going over all these. So now, what are we going to be looking for? Okay, well, we're in a weekly. We don't know where this is going to stop. It could go to 85. It could go to 95. And I'll buy some when I see it starting to move back up. I don't know if it's going to do that. Sometimes, some people say Bitcoin's going to zero. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. I think the fundamentals and the macro picture is good on Bitcoin, so I'll be a buyer when I see the signal. But the charts will tell you. If the charts never bounce, then they never bounce. Some things never recover, right? Some things never recover. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to be buying on the way down until you see the recovery happen. So right now we got the RSI moving lower. The fast RSI is moving lower. We're definitely getting to a place that could bottom, but we don't know where that could be. So it might slow down here, slow down, drop, slow down here, drop. We don't know. But what I do know is I'm going to be looking for that same pattern we saw in the past, which was the 10 EMA getting crossed to the upside, the fast RSI crossing, and then watching these candles start breaking some of these levels, seeing some bullish weekly candles and price moving up. And so remember, if the pattern, if history repeats itself, we could see a 1,000, a 2,000, a 10,000% return on investment. And again, I don't know what's going to happen. This is not trading advice. This is educational purposes only. But hey, if you have a comment on Bitcoin, there's something that you think is going to happen that I'm not seeing here, let me know. Please leave a comment in the comments below. Thank you.